This is Freak Bassman, hanging out with Michale Graves. Michael, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Thank you. For those who don't know what this tour is all about, can you give a little background on what's got you out on the road right now?
As always, the want and the need to play music, to continue to spread the word about Damien Echols and West Memphis 3. But more importantly, I really wanted to come out on tour and take the makeup off and strip away all the gimmick, all the illusion that I think that a lot of bands and a lot of people get caught up with in this industry, and specifically like in this genre of mine that it seems that I'm perpetually stuck in. To inject something new with substance and meaning into the scene, and hopefully inspire some people to maybe go down a different path, or maybe even just be turned on to some different kind of music, which will then, you know, head them down a different path.
Right on. So far, how's the tour been?
The tour has been good. You know, like I said, it's had its ups and its downs. But the tour has been really great. I get a lot of people after the show saying, you know, I really didn't know what to expect, just you and a guitar, but are completely transformed at the end of the show. They get it. So having that interaction and seeing people and fans transform like that is just so cool.
Right on. What made you decide to do a full acoustic set? I mean, that's kind of something that you've not been known for in the past.
I really wanted to give a performance where, a vocal performance where it's just like back in the day, you know, in the 20s and the 30s, when recorded music just started to happen. They would put the artists in a room with just a microphone and their instrument, you know, and there was no, oh, we'll get it in the mix. There is no, we'll just punch it in.
No Pro Tools.
Yeah. You had to evoke some sort of magic. You had to touch on some sort of nerve, and be able to put it on that tape. I wanted to get back to that. I wanted to, like I said, give a vocal performance where you're just concentrating on my voice and the emotion behind it, and the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Awesome. Is there any specific cities that you like to play more than others?
It depends. I certainly love going up into the Northeast and how that feels. Places like Massachusetts and Boston. And I love coming out west and playing in Los Angeles and Hollywood. Every city, every different place holds something different for me. I'm a bit of a freak. It's like, all the places that I go, that it's like the place itself, whether it holds some sort of history, speaking, like history, American history, or history for me. I don't know. I couldn't say that I like going somewhere more than another place.
Well, at least you didn't give the normal answer. Oh, I love playing in Seattle because that's where we are right now. You'd be surprised how much I hear that.
Like, well, for example, like I love when I'm approaching Seattle, like when I'm coming up through California, which is the route that I always usually take on tour. And when I start to see, like, I don't know, it's Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens, and like, for whatever, I go back to, and I see the pictures in my head of Mount St. Helens, like, blowing out, and what it must have been like, and just coming into the Northwest. I don't know. I'm a bit of a geek, but I love to travel.
That's cool, man. That's cool. What's one of the strangest things you've seen on the road, either fan-related or not fan-related?
Strangest things I've ever seen on the road. That's a tough one. I don't even know. You know what I've seen? It's horrible. We were driving down the road with the Misfits. We were in Winnebago, and to the left of us was like one of those horse trailers, and they carry the horses in the back. Behind him was a semi. They went over a bump, and the fucking horse trailer thing opened up, and the horse came out, and the fucking truck hit it. That was pretty fucked up.
Wow.
That was pretty fucked up. So there you go.
That's got to be one of the strangest things ever, actually. Where does a lot of the inspiration for your songs come from?
I think when I was in heaven, God or the universe or whatever makes us fashioned me like a lot of other artists, like an antenna. And for whatever reasons, I think I'm tapped into, or I know I'm tapped into, some people call it the universal mind. I draw a lot of inspiration from my life experiences, and the things that I go through, and the experience that I'm having in this realm, in this consciousness. And for whatever reasons, when I go into that creative mode and I start to write, and I do a lot of automatic writing that I later go to and pull lyrics from, I think, or I know I'm able to tap into that universal mind where, you know, when I write a song and you hear it, or any artist writes a song and you hear it, and it means something to you. And it might not necessarily mean the same thing as the guy that wrote it, but it's that same nerve that's hit. That's it. That's what links me to you, to your girlfriend, to all those strangers out there. And that's a powerful energy. So that's where I get my inspiration from, just living, and the people that I meet, and the big mountains that I see.
Right on. Who are some of your favorite bands right now?
Some of my favorite bands. I've been listening to a song that I really dig from a band called Dredge. The song's called Bug Eyes. I've been listening to JV, my bass player, my partner, he's playing guitar with me. He's got the iPod, and he's like the music and movie guru. So like we've just been playing tons and tons of stuff. He plays me like a lot of like new metal bands that are just incredible. I can't remember names of them. I've been trying to grasp the vibe of acoustic stuff, so I've been listening to like a lot of like old Bob Dylan. I don't know what kind of magazine this is coming out of. This is the part where they rip it up and throw it away. Just like a lot of old folk and a lot of like blues and just old rock and roll. Because I think, where I know that's where I find real energy, is in music like that. Right on. But and whatever JV's playing.
Nice. So here's some questions from some of the fans from the site. What do you think of the job that President Bush has done so far in his term in office?
I can't even imagine what it must be like to be the president. The country is not very happy right now. The kids are all pissed off. The kids in college again are all pissed off. People like me who are not necessarily young, but I'm married. I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to start a family. It's hard. It's really hard. I have friends that are over there in Iraq fighting for a war. I really don't give a shit if it's about oil or if it's whatever it's about. I just want my friends to come home and be okay and be alive. So, I mean, based on that, I don't think President Bush has pulled us together at all. At all, He doesn't, people see his face in our own home country, and they have venom the venom just starts to drip from their mouths, and somebody like that, whether we're at war or not, when that man comes on the TV, everybody should stop what they're doing, because that's supposed to be our leader. We look to him, and there's not many people looking to him. It's hard in politics right now. I mean, for people like me, I don't know about you, but a lot of people that I talk to, it's like deciding between two bowls of shit, which just, whichever one smells better. So I don't think President Bush has done a very good job. Again, I don't know what it's like to be president of the United States, but not too many people happy.
Yeah.
George, call me up.
Is there any chance that the two albums, Web of Dharma and the demo of 5 Cuts 3, of ever getting back up on your site?
No, because Chud'll sue me, or Chud'll sue me. That Web of Dharma is now in Dr. Chud's hands. I didn't know that he had copywritten that album and the material, Web of Dharma, in its entirety. I had no idea. I was always under the assumption that it was 50-50, which obviously would have been fine with me. Even if it was all of the guys' names and Graves, if it was all copywritten. Granted, I wrote every note of the record, but I'm a ridiculously fair person, and I thought that it was another way. So it's up to Chud. But if you want to listen to it, you don't want to buy it. It's on Misfits Central. There's a share link on the bottom of Misfits Central forum board, and the rules are if it's not a release, if it's not, people could download it. So go there if you want it. I don't care, as long as you enjoy it. Download it for free.
So those of us that actually already own the album, we're set.
Well, yeah, the people that own the album, at this point, it's like they're collector's items. It's like gold.
Kind of touch on that a little bit. Do you keep in touch with any of the former bandmates at all?
No, it's so sad. It's like a VH1 behind the music. It's so sad. Those dudes are just, they treat me like I'm, I don't know what I've done that's so bad to those guys. I don't, that everybody treats me the way that they do. They just walk away from me. They'll be on the phone with me, like Doyle is on the phone with me, talking about Gorgeous Frankenstein or whatever, just getting a band together, just playing together. And then the phone just stops ringing, nobody calls me, empty promises, big plans, and everybody's just gone. Chud, he doesn't call me up, he doesn't write me an email, he files, grievances against me. That's not how, that's messed up, man. Jerry does his own thing. He's doing the Misfits, whether I like it or anybody else, he's doing his own thing. I don't necessarily think that it's Jerry more than John Caffiero working behind the scenes overtime to make my life and the people that I work with miserable. Why? I don't know. Probably because I'm 100 million times more talented than any of them and all of them put together. John Caffiero, and everybody talks about, so now you got me going. John Caffiero, and you go on Misfits.com and it says nothing about me. But then you read down on the bio and it says about John Caffiero and his Dig Up Her Bones and his American Psycho videos that won all these awards and the most downloaded video on Sonic Net, blah blah blah. Who wrote those songs? I did. I did. At that point, you could have filmed me and Jerry and Doyle and Chud walking down the sidewalk eating jelly beans and put Dig Up Her Bones or American Psycho on it, and it probably would have won the same awards that John Caffiero won. My point being is that the very reason that I left that band was because it constantly came to me from those guys, from Jerry and Kenny and John Caffiero, that if I didn't like the way that things were run, or if I was upset about something, or I could just go away. I could just leave, because there's a million people standing behind me that want to take my spot, and of course there was. I always said to them, yeah, but they're not me. They can't do what I do. They don't have my heart, and they certainly don't have my soul. So, it's taken this long, but every night I go up there with that guitar and the microphone, I'm also proving a point. I'm also proving a point to them. And it's undeniable, because whatever bullshit they say or do, you look at what I've done in the past 13 years and you compare it to them, and the stats don't lie.
Right. Kind of touching a little bit on the Misfits. What was the songwriting process? Like, would you come in with something, and then would Jerry come in with something, or would you guys just jam out on stuff and just come up with something all together?
We would all come up with demos. We would go away to wherever we went, to our houses, and we would write. I was constantly writing. I was writing since the time I was, 12 or 13, so I was very ready for the opportunity that came along. And I just got all my ideas together and just got into a creative head. And Doyle gave me a lot of like riff tapes that I would listen to, like while I was working or doing something, and I would just play it in my head. And if something stuck, or maybe I started singing along to something, then I'd go to his house and we'd work it out. But I handed them a tape with American Psycho, it had Blacklight and American Psycho, Dig Up Her Bones, and Walk Among Us, Shining, and I would just come to them with songs, and we would learn them, and if it gelled, we would do it. Very rarely would we stand in a room together and, like, all of us write something. It was very. I don't think that ever really happened. Like Doyle and I would spend almost every waking moment together, and whenever there was time, we always had guitars in our hand. He would always have a guitar and he would play it, or I would sit there and I'd play and just come up with stupid stuff and make them laugh. But and then we would just get into a real creative head. Again, that goes back to, it's such a shame that there's so much drama and there's so much bullshit associated with those guys, and they can't figure out and get it together. Because there was nothing ever wrong with us when you put us in a room, and we were great. We were great. All the other stupid shit got in the way. Fools.
Well, just about at the end of the interview, so do you have any final thoughts, anything that you'd like to say to anybody out there that's going to be watching this?
Check out what I'm doing.
And where can they find all that information?
www.michaelgraves.net. I have a MySpace page like everybody else on the planet, myspace.com/GravesMichael. Also check out www.wm3.org to find out information about the West Memphis 3 and all the case study and updates.
Well, right on, man. Well, I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.